If you knew morning wood, then you know why I feel blue. Without morning, my morning wood. Oh, well, I love you, yes, I love you, morning wood. Morning wood, morning wood. Oh, how my heart yearns for you. Oh, morning, my morning wood. Oh, well, I love you, yes, I love you, morning wood. Morning wood, morning wood. Pretty, 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 pretty morning wood. Oh, morning, my morning wood. Oh, well, I love you and I need you, morning wood. I love you, morning wood, with a love so rare and true. Oh, morning, my morning wood. Well, I love you, I want you, morning wood.
Rise and shine. Happy Devil's Monday. This is The Morning Woo, coming to you live from the Primetime Radio studios inside the bunker. Undisclosed location in beautiful New Jersey. Streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, X Live, Twitch, and now on Instagram Live on the Let's Go Devils Network. As I'm going a little bit later for this morning woo. It's 11:32 a.m. Eastern right now as we're live. Feeling under the weather. Totally feeling under the weather. So I took my time today. Just feeling under the weather. Feeling a little down yesterday, as the title of the podcast is Stand By Luke. I'm your host, Sam Woo. Seeing everybody tuning in, filing in right now. We're going to talk some Devils hockey. We're going to talk about what happened last night, the booing of Luke Hughes, and I'll tell you my opinion about it. There's going to be a lot of opinions about it. Some people that are fans of the podcast booed Luke, some didn't. It's time to have a discussion about it. We're about 12 hours removed, a little bit over 12 hours removed from last night, from the game. I'll tell you what I had problems with, what I don't have problems with, and all that. Seeing everybody commenting, and I'm just going to be social media hopping as well. Hello to Instagram Live, hello to YouTube Live. I'm going to get the Facebook Live up and running. Sorry for the technical difficulties before. Trying to get this thing right. Just somehow there was a software update. It happens. Couldn't get it right, but finally I got it right. But last night at the game, I felt last night as a fan, and I'm just talking from my personal viewpoint, aside from the Luke Hughes stuff, I had a lot of problems last night. Okay, I had a lot of problems last night. I talked about it on Devils After Dark. You know, I had the issue with my ticket, bracelet. Should I be in the club lounge? For all intents and purposes, security that told me to go around and figure it out. She was very professional. No issues with her. No issues with her. She's just doing her job. But it was just frustrating because I was standing there with Paul Marino, and I think we were talking to Don LaGreca, and all that kind of stuff, and then I kind of got thrown out of the club lounge. So things were just weird all night. I was wearing the cookie costume, and the goal light helmet. And then I had to deal with a male Karen last night in Section 18. Again, don't want to harp on it. He felt that I didn't belong in the section, for whatever that means. And also decided, after showing our tickets, that those were our seats. He decided to get security and make a big production out of it, which security, again, at the Prudential Center was very professional. Thank you very much. Appreciate them. But during the game, Luke Hughes had some mistakes. Let's just say that. Had some mistakes. I don't want to pile it on. We all knew what happened with some bad puck luck. Some would say Luke just sucks. Whatever. But the booing. I'm going to preface and say this. I believe in the First Amendment. To each their own. You have your opinion. I have my opinion. To be honest with you, and I'm guilty of it in the past, I've booed players before on my own team. Rarely, but I have. Coincidentally, I did boo Billy Guerin years ago, the day before he got traded. That game against Toronto years ago, and I was booing him when he was going into the tunnel. Not very nice, but it happens. So I'm not innocent at all, but there was a lot of booing yesterday on Luke Hughes. I think where it didn't sit right with me, for the record, I didn't boo at all. Felt sorry for the kid. I'm all about accountability, but I just didn't think it was appropriate to boo him the entire game. If you get a couple boos out, you get in the rhythm, okay, fine. Again, this is my opinion, but to boo him the entire game and place all the blame on Luke for no reason, I think that just went a little far. I think what happened here was the frustration of Devils fans all bottled up, and unfortunately Luke Hughes had to take it. Just remember, where did this come from? The team, the expectations, the lack of leadership from Fitzgerald, the whole Quinn Hughes saga, the losing, the $9 million that was doled out to Luke Hughes. Played a part of it. Whether you're right or wrong, whether it's right or wrong, it doesn't matter. It did play probably a part of it. The venom last night. But I thought it was unfair that he had to take the brunt of it. I thought it was unfair that he had to hear those boos. In Jenny Streeter's article on SI.com, she listed that Luke Hughes is the second youngest player on the New Jersey Devils, or at least with defensemen, the youngest being Shimon Nemitz, who's heard his share of boos. So I ask you, and I don't want to overanalyze this at all, but I ask you, what was the point of that? Were you trying to get him fired up and play better? Do you hate him that bad because he's making $9 million a year, is what that lady keeps on yelling in Section 15, which I had to remove myself from yesterday, from that section? Is it you're getting too much Hughes Brothers information overload? What is it? What was the point of that? I'm not talking about just booing once or twice. I'm talking about booing the entire game. I mean, we're talking every time he touched the puck. I mean, that's the kind of stuff you reserve for Sean Avery when he's in town. So that's the question I want I want to know. Like, what was the point of that? Were you drunk? Were you trying to be funny? Funny how? Like a clown? Felt bad for the kid. I'll be honest with you. It did not sit well with me. I don't think the optics look good. All right. The optics certainly didn't look good. If you looked at the post game interviews, okay, we talk about leadership on this podcast. If there's a silver lining, anything good that came out of this, is that, well, I'm going to list them right now. Nico Hischier stepped it up as captain. Seeing that the press, the cameras, the reporters, a lot of them good friends of the podcast, they were all going to Luke Hughes in his locker room. He was going to face the music. And to Nico Hischier's credit, he brought them over to his side, from what I understand. He brought him over to his side because he's going to protect his teammate, as a captain should. And kudos and good job, number 13, Nico Hischier, for doing that. Because Danielle McCartan, good friend of the podcast on WFAN, had an interview with Nico Hischier a couple days ago. And was talking about Connor Brown speaking up. What did he say? And Nico, of course, wants to protect his player because there are things, and there is a code, a written rule, that things stay in the locker room, which we respect. Those are in the media. But he also said that, Nico isn't really vocal himself as a leader to speak up. He's just not a vocal guy. It's just not in his personality. And that's fine. But when things get bad like it did last night, I'm proud to say that the captain of the New Jersey Devils stepped up to the plate to protect his young teammate, Luke Hughes. I'll read you some of the quotes here, and I'm a little disorganized, so I do apologize. I wish, I should probably contact the Devils to get, these audio clips permission to play on the podcast. But I'm reading this right now. We stand behind him. I mean, it's a game of mistakes. Mistakes happen. He's obviously not happy about his game, and there's more to come. He's going to learn from that, and I know he will. And we're here to support him, and that's what good teams do. I don't support that at all. You can tell if somebody's making a mistake, and he's obviously not feeling great about it, meaning Luke Hughes. And at the end of the day, it's still first one is like the first shift. There's a whole game in front of you. So as a teammate, and I think also as fans, you got to embrace that. He's obviously not happy with that as well, and booing doesn't help. So I understand the frustration, but at the end of the day, it was a 2-1 game, and we're still trying to battle for some points here. And yeah, us teammates, we fully stand behind Luke, and he's a great player, and we know what he did tonight, and that's it, and we move on from there here. Your captain, Nico Hischier, making a statement, drawing some heat off of Luke, which, to his credit, Luke Hughes, he answered the bell. He spoke to the press. He could have copped out, and for very good reason, and did not talk to the media yesterday. And I wouldn't blame him, to be honest, because as a young player, you kind of feel like you're doing your best. You're giving everything you have. I get it. He's making $9 million a year, but he's still how old? 23 years old? I didn't even check, but he's young. He's going to make mistakes, and he's playing a tough position. Playing defense in the NHL is not that easy, and it takes time to develop. Yes, he went to University of Michigan, but I don't think he spent any time in Utica. And when they threw him in in the midst of a playoff run when he first signed with the team. Give him a break. And I agree. Stand by Luke. I agree with the players by doing that. But if you look, I wish I could play the Luke Hughes interview after the game. This is what, as a fan, this is what I look at. The guy cares. Number one. The guy cares. Because all the money we pay the Harris Blitzer Sports Entertainment, all the money we spend at Prudential Center, all that stuff, the amount of money, time invested, our vested interest in the New Jersey Devils, the one thing I expect from the players, and it's not a big ask, and it's not about money for me. Are you doing it to win? And do you actually care? Luke Hughes cares. And that's all you can ask for from one of your players. That they care. They're not milking it. They're not just getting a paycheck. This is not a transactional relationship. Devils fans and Luke Hughes. No, we're going to grow together and build this thing. I know, it doesn't help that Billy Guerin swooped in and got Quinn Hughes. I know it sucks. And I still don't know why Devil social media, with the optics, having Billy and Jack talking to each other like this bromance is just brewing, and it just has legalized tampering written all over it. But whatever. Inroads. Hopefully Billy Guerin didn't call Luke last night and be like, look, our fans don't do that. But it really didn't sit well with me. I know some fans booed. They've admitted to me. And I'm not going to crucify you for that. You're entitled to your opinion. And that's what, the Let's Go Devils podcast is about. I'm not going to be judgmental on your opinion. But I have my opinion, and I had a choice. Do I boo Luke Hughes, or do I do something different? You know what I did? Kevin at American Whiskey and the male Karen behind me can attest to it. I chanted every time the fans booed Luke. I just yelled out, "Let's go, Luke," every single time because I didn't like it. And I'm entitled to that, as you're entitled to boo. But obviously, Luke Hughes, he took it to heart. And as a fan, it means a lot because he's showing that he actually cares. And you know what? We talk about balls. Balls in the locker room, balls with the coaches, balls with the GM. Luke Hughes has balls. Because as a young kid, he could have easily, could have skipped the reporters, the interviews, all that. No, he manned up. He got behind the mic, and he let it all hang out. And I'm very appreciative of that because that tells me he's growing as a human being and he's growing as a player. That's how I feel. Seeing some of the comments on this late morning woo. Under the weather, folks. I didn't even shower today. I feel disgusting, but not that you needed to know that. 12 minutes after woo, says Bill Agnew. Tampering in the NHL, question mark, says Bill Agnew. Beachmaster, happy Devils Monday to you. Luke did the hand to ear selling to Devils fans versus Tampa and a loss. Yeah. Again, everyone's entitled to their opinion. And I'm not going to say that I'm not going to say here that I'm a big Luke Hughes fan. Okay? I'm not going to say that. But from a humanity standpoint, we could do better. I mean, did we learn our lesson with Lindy Ruff? You know, you go back to, fire Lindy. Then 13 games later, sorry, Lindy, or whatever games later. If I was going to talk to the young Luke Hughes right now, if I had the ability to have 5 minutes with Luke right now, I'm going to tell him, Luke, you have to understand this is Jersey. It's tough love. Our expectations are high. I wouldn't take it personally because the same fans that booed you would probably cheer on if you score that game-winning goal. No doubt. I think, for the most part, this entire Devils fan base wants to see and will see Luke Hughes succeed. His success is our success because we have an emotionally vested interest in this team called the New Jersey Devils. And I think he will. Because he showed a lot to me, at least me, last night. I don't know how you feel. That he had the balls to face the media, face the music. Said he's got to play better. I don't have the interview in front of me, but he's got to play better. It's on him. Luke was sounded broken. He was on verge of tears. Do you really want to do that to one of your players? There are consequences. And again, I'm not saying I'm innocent too. I mean, I'm an irrational fan too. But for one night, I didn't think it was right. That's just my opinion, of course. Like to hear yours. Dubzilla says, just saying, if you support the team, you got to support the team. It's hard. Joey B says, Sam got sick doing all those podcasts from the cold cart last week. Yeah, just under the weather. Dag for Hansen says, fans yell, hey, you suck during the goal song. That is equally as cringe as booing. Disagree. I mean, we could stop with the, Ranger, the whistle. Rangers suck. Flyers swallow. Avery pays for it. Or Crosby watches. Whatever that long. It got to 16 players now. I don't know. Again, I'm all about good old fun, family fun at the arena where you don't want to go rated R, but you want to go PG-13, but everybody knows what you mean, but you don't actually say it. It's actually sometimes funnier. Sometimes when you listen to broadcast on over-the-air TV when they do censor, beep, the dump button, beep, somebody swearing. Sometimes it's just funnier to hear the beep than the actual word. That's just my opinion. Dubzilla says, no way, the you suck is great. I just like anything that gets the fan in unison that's in a positive manner. Now, you could ask me, well, you suck, woo, isn't that a negative connotation? No, not really. I think as a society, we've been desensitized saying the word you suck. I mean, back in the day on network television, over-the-air TV with FCC rules, that was a big no-no. You'll get a complaint from grandma writing a letter to the FCC commissioner. But we live in a different world right now. We got to kind of evolve from that. Joe says, I wouldn't boo, but fans have right to boo, holding out for more money and, having a bad season. Sam and Scotty are way off on this. Scotty was out of line last night calling people out for booing. Did I call people out for booing? I don't think I did, but I might have last night because I was a little pissed off at the male Karen yesterday that tried to get me kicked out of the arena. So maybe I was being a little irrational myself. If I was, I apologize. But I think everybody's entitled to their opinion. I have entitled to my opinion. Like I said, everybody has their reasons for booing. I think Luke can understand it. What I don't understand is booing the entire game as if he was the opposition. Yeah, I know 2 goals went through him last night, but, that stuff happens. Just hopefully, the sad thing is you watched Luke during the game like he was progressively getting worse because his confidence was shot. And then sometimes he would try to do too much like his brother Jack and would turn the puck over because he wants it so badly. And that's a very typical trait of young players where they just try to do too much, but it's counterproductive and they really are detriment to the team. We want Luke in good habits. Me personally, I would love Luke Hughes to take risks, but I think he needs to get his fundamentals together. I think he needs to, again, simplify his game. I think he's just doing too much. You look at Jonas Siegenthaler, Dubzilla said, I haven't seen any mistakes recently. Yeah, because you rarely talk about Siegenthaler in anything anymore. And that's a good sign. And even Brett Pesce as well. I mean, he's a blocking shot machine out there. Let's see here. Sam Wu's crimped hat bill to legit old school. Not sure what you're talking about. Always something 17 says I wouldn't boo Luke. I'm not sure the sound wave would make it across the Atlantic, but he has to do better for season 3 now, and he's still doing stupid stuff that's incredibly annoying. I agree. Like I said, I'm not the biggest Luke Hughes fan at all. I'm not going to pretend like he's got work to do, but I respect him as a player. I mean, I wouldn't want him to go anywhere other than New Jersey Devils. Same with Jack Hughes. But yeah, there are things annoying. But just remember, years ago, there were 2 defensemen, you may remember, Brian Rafalski and Scott Niedermayer. Both had excellent rookie seasons, high expectations. They had their issues turning over the puck, if you remember. It takes time with these blue liners. It simply takes time. Luke Hughes will get there. His attitude is good. All right. He'll grow from this. He's going to get tougher from this. And hopefully it's going to translate into positive results. And I would love to see the fan base kind of fall back in love with Luke Hughes again. Or for the first time. I joke about it. The $9 million lady. Now that's annoying. Every 5 seconds that Luke Hughes would touch the puck, $9 million. Like, even if he does a good play, you're still not worth $9 million. The lady in section 15, the season ticket holder. I'm sorry, it's just annoying. But she's allowed, she's entitled to her opinion. But I'm also entitled to leave the section because I don't want to hear her. Because it gives me migraines. So, like, just if Sam is my boss, I screw up on the job, I expect him to lay into me. Yeah, see, the thing is, I've been a boss. I am a boss. When you lay into your employees at your job, okay, I've dealt with some doozies in my day. Lazy, not on time, no productivity, no motivation. When I yell and lay into my employees, if I'm going to invest my energy and time, the first thing I say to myself as either the chief executive officer or the boss or whatever label you want to put on it is, what's the goal here? What's the goal here? Before I start laying into somebody, what's the goal here? And in this case, I want my employee to succeed because I need to get the job done. In this case, treat the Devils fans as, let's just say, stakeholders in the team, season ticket holders. They're kind of like stakeholders in some ways, although it's really an expense because we don't get any returns back unless it's a Stanley Cup. What's the goal here when you want to boo Luke Hughes the entire game? Do you want him off the team? Is that sending a message to Fitzy to fix it? Is it sending a message to Harris Blitzer Sports Entertainment that we're not happy with the product on the ice? Maybe. But before you boo, you got to understand, like, what's the point? What's the goal here? Before you waste your energy on that. And honestly, I don't mind it if you boo Luke a few times. But man, just the entire period, it was like, we get it. We know. I'm done with it. You're worse than the $9 million lady at times. So here we are. So I asked the fans, are you going to stand by Luke? Do you feel better that the guy was crushed and had a bad night? Do you feel good? I mean, do you think the Hughes brothers really want to stay here at this point? When you got Uncle Billy in frickin' Minnesota calling them, saying, oh, well, it's not tampering because I am the United States GM for Team USA. Just think before you boo. That's all I ask. Just think about it before you boo. But I stand by Luke Hughes. I really do. I stand by Luke Hughes. And like I said, I'm not like a fanboy of the Hughes brothers, although I do have Jack's reverse retro jersey, which I think is pretty cool. And I'm very pleased that the captain of the New Jersey Devils stepped up to the plate when one of his teammates needed him the most. Sheldon Keefe, that's a different story. Pretty interesting. I don't have the quote in front of me, but he talked about benching. And Matt, I agree with you. It's like you talk about benching. What are you doing to Paul Cotter? You're benching him as well. But that's another podcast for another day. Selector Boy says, I don't agree with booing Luke throughout the rest of the game is helpful, honestly. No, I don't know. Cough button woo. Yeah, I was coughing because I am sick today. I'm trying to muscle. See, I'm bulldogging through it. Okay? You know, Jack Hughes is wearing a brace and he's playing ice hockey. I'm bulldogging through it. Well, anyway, I hope the Hughes family, again, tough love in New Jersey. I'll even apologize for some of these fans. I'm sorry. Your son didn't deserve to be booed the entire game. Parts of the game, but not the entire game. And he showed us a lot by answering the tough questions in that locker room when he could have just went home. But he cared. And that's deeply appreciated. All right, well, we're going to get out of here. So, the ceremonial sip. Before we go, I put a song together called Stand By Luke. Stand By Luke. I'll put it out on social media as well, but I'll play this on the way out. The ceremonial sip to Luke Hughes. Nico Hischier for sticking up for his teammate. Helping him out when he needed him most. That's what leadership is about. And I hope, Luke, you'll get past this. And we'll see you tomorrow on Long Island because we're taking a bus trip, the Woo Bus 1 trip, with Danielle McCartan at WFAN to Long Island for 90 minutes of all you can eat, open bar, and a mobile command center on the podcast, the Woo Bus 1. I salute you, Luke Hughes. The ceremonial sip. Ugh. All right. We're going to get out of here. So I'm debuting the song Stand By Luke because we stand by him. Hashtag Stand By Luke. Till next time, this is the Morning Woo. Let's go, Devils.
When the puck has dropped and the rock is loud and the canes are for checking relentlessly, oh, I won't be afraid. Oh, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by Luke. So darling, darling, stand by Luke. Oh, stand by Luke. Oh, stand by Luke. If the rebound's loose near our own crease or Hall pokes it in accidentally, we won't boo. No, we won't lose. Won't you back cool? Just as long